All right, I wanted to do this topic for a little bit because I think it's really important for planning when it comes to post SHTF sustainability. So likely all the amendments and everything that you could have for your garden are not going to be available. You're going to be after making your own compost, and that can be a completely separate video. But there are other ways that you can help not let the ground die, and it also will, things will help for as far as repelling pests too. So going back to, again, I reference this book, and he talks in there about two rotations, a high rotation and a low rotation. And so basically what that does is, and that doesn't necessarily mean season to season, though it could be season to season depending on where you live. For me, it ends up being multiple times in a season. So, a high rotation is stuff that you'd want to put, or he calls it a sun blocker rotation, that would be on the northern part of your garden because you don't want it accidentally blocking out any of the smaller stuff that you might plant. And basically that rotation goes from tomatoes to corn to beans and peas to squash and cucumbers, and then back to tomato again. And then the second one, the low grow or low grower rotation, it's in groups. So there's a group 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so, one is potatoes, peppers, eggplant, and or determinate tomatoes, which are the tomatoes that come in at one time. 2 is any member of the cabbage family. 3 is a carrot family, which includes carrots, parsnips, and celery. And 4 covers everything else. And so, for me, and even this guy, like, he says he's in zone 4, so he's up north. But like, he talks about garlic being planted the previous fall, is ready for harvest in late July. And when it's harvested, they replace it with lettuce, spinach, radicchio, or Chinese cabbage. And then that's ready in the fall. So as early lettuce and spinach occupy space that'll be filled by later storage crops. So the carrots, beets, his bush beans are succeeded by growing sowings of kale for the fall and early winter. And then he does peas anytime to use as a green manure. So in your rotation, and that's not steadfast, like, you've got to learn that. And so that's one of the things, like, I learn what works for me. And then what that means is that your garden is not like perfectly planned out. And what I mean by that is that you don't have rows here and rows here and rows here, and this is here, and then it's not, and then this is. You're going to have, like, I have multiple different things a lot of times in all my beds that are, that are coming in throughout the year that I then switch stuff into because I'm going to go into canning mode in the fall. And, so, but you got to figure out what that rotation is for you and where you're at in your zone and what works for your garden. So most of the time I have onions everywhere, and they're growing all over the place because they're good to repel pests, and they fill smaller spaces. The other thing, going back to the pests, is, one of the issues with pests, if you keep planting the same thing in the same spot, if you're seed saving, yes, your plants are going to get stronger, but guess what? Your pests also know where that's at. So you got to take that into consideration as well, that you're, rotating enough so that you're not giving them a chance. But anyway, just a little thought on sustainability post SHTF and how you, are going to take care of your garden.